So speaking of nice experiences, President Clinton, he contacts you, and then what happens? This is back a ways, back in L.A.
Well,
This
first
is
I
the
didn't
story.
believe it was real. I had a brother who was a non-political tech who worked in the White House, and his job was to make sure that the president could reach anybody in the world at any moment. And
Uh-huh.
so he's an IT guy, and
Okay.
it's not political. He started with Reagan. He did the first Bush, and he did Clinton. Then he went into the private sector. But I had heard from him, and so Clinton knew him because Clinton, like when he was traveling and he wanted to call somebody, it was my brother who would bring him the phone and so forth. And so Clinton knew who I was because, as you know, and you've worked with him, he's a big reader,
Yeah.
uh, especially crime fiction. So after my first book came out, which first printing of 12,000 copies. I mean, I was not on anyone's radar. I got a call, and they said it was the White House Signal Office, and they were asking if I'd be willing to meet President Clinton when he arrived in Los Angeles, with the catch being that it would be at 4 a.m. arrival.
That's pure Clinton. All right.
Yeah. And I didn't think it was. I thought it was a prank. I know a
Uh-huh.
lot of cops. Cops are big prankers, and when I had a book come out, they really kind of gave it to me. So I was very. I think I said like, yeah, right, and hung up. But then they called back. But anyway, I was able to legitimize the call. So I did go out there at 4 a.m. and he landed, and because it was 4 a.m., there's no crowd there or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
It was just Secret Service. And
Uh-huh.
and I talked to him for a few minutes, and I had a galley of my next book that I could give.
Great blonde.
And what he said was, Harry Bosch didn't know his father. Harry Bosch loved saxophone, and so those things really spoke to
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
President Clinton. But anyway, it's kind of like when the teacher at Vanderbilt told you you got it. The last thing he said to me as he walked towards his limo was, keep going, keep writing about this guy. And so
Mhm.
that was one of those, I guess I am a writer type moments.
Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh.
You were
Yeah,
just
there is something weird about dealing with presidents and stuff. And even if you're kind of whatever, you just go like, well, I don't know, that was cool. He reads everything. He's not, yeah, he does read a lot of crime fiction, but he's ridiculous. He doesn't sleep. I think he's a vampire. But well,
I have a
vampires sleep,
really
so that's not
good
accurate, you know.
I have a really good what do you call it? Kind of Hollywood Clinton story, in that again, my brother was on a team that traveled with the president, and so
Uh-huh.
I had sold my initial books to Paramount, my first three Harry Bosch books to Paramount in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And they were assigned to a producer named Mace Neufeld, who made some really good films with
Yeah. 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 Action
Harrison.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like Harrison Ford was in his Tom Clancy movies and so forth. So the Clintons go and stay with Harrison Ford in Wyoming or Montana or wherever they live.
Yeah.
And my brother was there to make sure that the president could reach, or anyone could reach the president who had to.
Yeah.
And so he's like in a kitchen or something, standing by while the Fords and Clintons are having dinner. And he overhears Clinton tell Ford, "You'd be a really good Harry Bosch." And
Uh-huh.
Mace Neufeld and Paramount were lobbying him at that moment to be Harry Bosch. And so my brother tells me that, and then like the following Monday, I get a call from Mace Neufeld, and he goes, "You'll never guess who told Harrison Ford he should be Harry Bosch." And I go, "Bill Clinton," and it was like, "How did you know that?" You know,
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
but it
uh-huh.
never happened. When Harrison Ford never was.
Yeah, well, you said nobody had read. Actually, I had read because um, Larry Kirschbaum, who ran Little Brown and Warner in those days, he was a big fan, and he had sent me Black Echo, and then the one after the Bosch after that, and the second or third book, and I said, not this doesn't mean shit, but I said to him, I said, why aren't you pushing this guy? This guy is great. And back in those days, and it's probably still true, their whole thing was, so they put out your 12,000, in my case with Thomas Behrman, 6,000 copies, but they put out your 12, and then they go, well, we're going to build you, and then we're going to do 15 next time, and then we'll do 18 and whatever. Now, if the second book doesn't sell 15 and it sells 12,000 again, that's your fault. They never take any, but they're going to build it all slowly. And I said, "What? You're crazy. This guy, he's great right now. Why are you wasting your time?" I don't know if that had any effect on him, but
I
I
mean,
never
Larry.
got that thing of like, why? I can understand if somebody isn't, they're not ready yet, but you were ready. There it was. You read the stuff. It's not complicated.
Well, I mean, that probably helped a lot because Larry finally took notice with the book we started with, The Poet, and he was
Hmm.
the one who said we have to we have to get this on the bestseller list. So that
I'll
became.
bet Larry just read the damn thing and said it's good because he did that with me with Along Came a Spider. He was on a plane. I hadn't really sold all that well. And he read the thing and called the agent, or called not my agent, he called my editor, and he just said, well, we got to go with this. I want to sign up this character for 2 books, and let's go. But I'm sure that that's what happened. That Larry read it and just went, this is breakout stuff, whatever that means.
Did that with Baldacci too. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. And he sent me Baldacci's, and he sent me Sparks too, the notebook.
Uh,
And both times I said, yeah, and the Notebook wasn't really my kind of book, but you just read it and you get, no, this guy really he knows how to tell a story. It's a good story. So Hollywood, which where you've had a lot of success, and then you had Clint Eastwood with Bloodwork. Tell me about that a little bit, because I've heard this a little, but it's interesting, I think.
yeah. Well, no, I mean, it was kind of like a what do you call that? I forget the Hollywood phrase for something that's gets a lot of interest in Hollywood, and so that was the first book I wrote where there were various studios vying for it. And
Uh-huh.
then I got a call from Clint Eastwood saying he wanted to do it, he wanted to star in it and direct it. And when you get a call like that, you just say yes. You know,
Yeah, I haven't had that call yet, but I would say yes.
yeah, Clint Eastwood, and he was very accurate and honest. He goes like, when I made the deal with him, then I met him, and he goes, I'm not going to make this for 5 years, and you're not going to be involved in it. That's not how I operate. I'm going to bring in a screenwriter and so forth, and I'll obviously let you see the script and things like that. And he made it exactly 5 years later. And he did send me the script, and I thought it was a courtesy because there was stuff about the script that I didn't agree with, and that they really changed the book quite badly, like
Yeah,
and
badly. They did it
yeah, I mean,
badly,
a
which
different
is
bad
weird
guy.
because he's so good. Yeah.
It was a different ending and all that kind of stuff, and this was really my first interaction because the stuff that happened with Paramount and Mace Newfield never came to anything. And so this was the first time I had a really kind of go project. And
Uh-huh.
so I was of two minds. Like, I'm not sure this is going to work the way he's had it scripted. And I didn't think, I thought it was just a courtesy. Here's the script, and pat me on the head and run along or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But it did turn out he calls me and wanted to know what I thought. And I didn't really hold back, and we got into a discussion. I mean, I totally respect him in terms of he explained why he made some changes, and I didn't agree with them, but
Hmm.
he didn't like shrink away or cut me out or anything.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Did they listen at all?
They
I,
made
I
something.
love a lot of the stuff that you've done. I thought that was not so good. It didn't make sense. It was sort of like it's serious, but it's comedic, and it was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and in a way, it was that Hemingway quote. I think people could see exactly where this was going, and I
Uh-huh.
don't
Uh-huh.
think that's the way it was in the book.
Yeah. It's a weird one, but you've also said something which I totally agree with the notion of, and I've heard it from a couple other people. You don't have to sell your book out there, so don't complain. You know that, they're going to do whatever they're going to do, and it might work out and it might not.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
if you take their money,
Yeah,
You
that's it.
tell the
You
story.
took the money. You didn't have to take the money, right? Uh, so another, I mean, and I thought the Bosch stuff worked out great, and I thought, ultimately Lincoln Lawyer, especially the first season for me anyway, I thought that really worked out well. And the movie I thought was particularly good. So that, but then the weird thing is, so Lincoln Lawyer goes out there and CBS has it. And they did a pilot, right?
No, they didn't do a pilot.
Oh, they didn't. Okay.
They killed it, the whole thing, 3 days. They killed it on a Friday, and we were supposed to shooting the pilot on a Monday, the following Monday.
Okay.
And
All right.
this was March of the COVID year. Like
Uh-huh.
the world kind of shut down March 9th, and we were supposed to start filming something like March 24th. And so they cited the COVID of it all as to why they weren't going to go forward with it.
Oh,
And
really?
it turned out to
We're
be,
actually shooting the Clinton thing. We shot 5 days and it got canceled because, and they never went back and shot it. I was talking to a writer, Hollywood writer, last week, and he's got a little bitter. And he's been pretty successful as a writer out there. But he said, I keep dealing with these incompetent people, but they change them every year. So, like, if they kept them, at least you go, okay, well, there's this incompetent person, but I'm used to it now, and we've worked out some stuff. But he said every time, and then it's some new incompetent person. So I don't know. It's a weird burg. I don't know what they're, but that that canceling it, and then when it got picked up again, and that actor I think is pretty good, and he doesn't speak English that well, right? The guy
yeah,
who's doing the
he's
series
Mexican,
now,
he's Mexican born actor.
Mexican, yeah, 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 yeah,
He's a great
yeah.
guy.
He's good though. He's good, I think.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Uh, that if I've learned anything in Hollywood, it's about who's number one on the call sheet and how they deal as the
Uh-huh,
basically as
uh-huh,
general of an army. The crew is an army, and if you're
uh-huh.
aloof and you don't respect the people working around you, you're going to have problems. And I've just been lucky that Manuel and Lincoln Lawyer and Titus on the Bosch stuff.
Yeah,
They're
Titus is really, really good too. And you worked on The Wire for a while too, right?
no, I did not.
You didn't. Oh, did you do something with the chase or whatever?
David
You did.
Simon?
I just made that
No,
up. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. I gave you credit for that, but sorry.
we
So
the
we
show.
made our, I don't know about your film debut, but my one and only on Castle. We did that once or twice, I think.
That was fun.
It was kind of fun. As you found out, then I cannot remember lines at all. Not
The
even. I mean, I would have never been an actor anyway. But if I had, I can't because I can't remember a line. It's really weird. Like in high school, I could remember Shakespeare for about 5 days. I could memorize it, and then it would all be gone. But with lines, I can't remember. So I don't know if you remember, but they had to hold cards up for me for the lines.
well,
It
I
was
mean,
like,
not just you. It was in. I don't know if you've talked about this on your show, but we were sitting at a round table. They do a
yeah,
round camera track, so a camera's
right,
like rolling
yeah,
around, and
yeah,
they had the cards on the cameras, but like sometimes it would be behind you, so you kind of had to track. And are
yeah.
those Patterson's lines, or are those Connelly's lines, and so forth? And but it was a fun experience. I haven't used my acting chops in any other way
Since
since.
then, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was fun though, and I'm so bad with names. Who was it? Famous writer, TV writer that was with us who passed on a few years back?
You know,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, he was good. That was nice. I mean, the weird thing about, because having never worked in that way, they would bring us out to the set and they say, you need to be here by 9 o'clock or something in the morning, whatever the hell it was. And you got your own trailer and you go into a trailer. I mean, like a trailer, like you're a homeless person. No, not homeless, but that's your home. So it really isn't that wonderful. And then like at 6 o'clock at night, they finally shoot, and it's like, wait a minute. But my big disappointment there is, the lead guy's great, but see, I had a crush on the actor, the woman, but of course she wasn't in any of those scenes. I would have loved to have met her, Canadian actress,
yeah, I did. I got, maybe because I'm a better actor than you, I got called back,
probably.
and
Uh-huh.
for the last episode of the show, he wins. Don't think they got permission to say Edgar, so he wins the kind of like lifetime achievement award,
Uh-huh.
and I was the one who gave it to him. Like when they filmed me at a,
Oh, really? Oh,
at,
okay, cool.
and I'm wearing a tuxedo, and she's at the same
Yeah, I
table.
turned that down. No, no, they didn't offer. I'm kidding.
So anyway, I did get to meet her one time. She's very nice, but I hear that Nathan and her did not get along.
I heard that. Yeah, yeah. That's always an interesting thing when they did the Women's Murder Club on ABC or whatever, and a lot of they didn't get along. A lot of the, which was weird. It's kind of bad because the whole thing of the show is, I mean, of the novel is that these women and you watch them and you wish you had friends like that. No, no, no. It's like my sisters. My sisters don't get along. It's weird. Maybe it's a woman thing. I don't know.
We've mentioned Bill Clinton a few times here. So don't you're doing another book with him, right? Or you have, or it's about to
Yeah,
come
we
out?
have. It's done. It's coming out in I think June. I think June. We'll be some touring. I was with him a couple of weeks ago. It was cool. It's always a treat, because he'll always go on with stories after stories, and and the new book. I think it's a pretty good story. It's called the First Gentleman, and which he could have been. That's the husband that if your wife is the president, and he, in typical Patterson fashion, he's accused of murder. He may or may not have done it, which is part of the whole ballgame. But Clinton cooked up for the woman, the president, this thing about saving Social Security or all that stuff, and it's really cool because it's the kind of stuff that no politicians can actually say. But since he's not a politician, because the reality of it is, folks, it's got to get fixed. But no, politicians are just afraid to say it. No, we cannot. We can't do this. We can't keep doing it like this. And the book has a solution, at least one on paper that could work, which is kind of fun and cool. And he really got into that part of it because he was allowed to kind of make up something that could work, but no Democrat or Republican could ever say it,
Yeah. No,
which
I
is
mean,
crazy.
in the first one, there was just these moments of, there was like authenticity
Yeah.
to the life of a president that had to have come from a president. It was really cool. So I look
Yeah,
forward.
no, that was because, as you know, Michael, you do a better job of researching than I do, but we are making up a certain amount of stuff, and it was really cool to be said. Well, and he go, no, that's not how the Secret Service would operate, Which and same with Dolly when we did that thing because it was country music in Nashville and stuff, and she's such a nice, smart. She's really smart and really quick verbally. The first time we got together, she said, she called me Jimmy James. She said, Jimmy James, she said, I've written literally thousands of country songs. She said, I could write one here standing on my head. Want to see? Which is, I said, yeah, I'd like to see you write one standing on your head. So I don't know if you still are, but you used to be are you still real disciplined, like kind of every day or most days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that
Yeah.
go back to the newspaper thing at all or?
Yeah, that the work ethic I think comes from there, but it's like I'm sure you feel this too. I mean, what we get to do is it's amazing, and so you got to respect it, treat it like it's something sacred.
I
and,
feel that way. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I don't, so I do, and also there's not enough time for me to write all the stories I want to write, so
Hmm.
um
Yeah.
I keep at it every day.
There's
But
a phrase, this isn't mine, this is from somebody else, but I've been using it for a couple of years now. It relates to, I'm doing a thing with Viola Davis, and I might have mentioned that, but the language is, and I think it's more important for 20-year-olds. When I was at Vanderbilt earlier in the week, I said, and the line is, my time here is short. What can I do most beautifully? And I love it because it's a focus. It puts things in perspective. It's a motivator. And it really does drive me in terms of, kind of what I want to do or don't want to do. And do I want to do that project? And do I want to, write another one in this series or whatever the hell it is?
you
So
know,
it's really been useful. I think the discipline also, Catholic, man, Catholic school, that does it to you, man. I don't know about St. Thomas Aquinas. St. Patrick's was that way, I'll tell you. St. Patrick's High School, where I went.
yeah, no, I mean, I think definitely, at least for me, the work ethic started there. It was demanded.
Yeah. Well, as they say, I write with Lupica now, and he had a column he still does, and he can't help himself. I mean, we'll be going somewhere on the plane, and an hour, and he writes 1,500 words. Boom, next column, and he just every day he's 1,500 words. There it is.
Sports columnists, I think, are the top of the line because of the pressure, and they
Yeah.
write about something you already know, but they have to make it
Uh-huh.
interesting.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I have a question for
Yeah.
you. Well, first of all, two questions. One is that is a very nice quote about what can I do beautifully, but you don't know who said it. It wasn't Hemingway, right?
No, it might have been. I don't think
Stop
so.
it, Jeff. But
Doesn't sound like him.
with all the books that you have published,
Yeah.
what, they're obviously not on the shelves behind you. So what has to be special about a book to get on that shelf since it's not all your books?
Oh, I have, going where I'm pointing all
Oh,
the
the
way around.
camera?
About 5 or 6 years ago, I just went and I can't remember where the hell they are now, and I went out and I bought about 100 books that, for some reason, some of them are more serious, like 100 Years of Solitude, and some are, more thrillerish or whatever. Just books that had affected me for whatever reason. There's one in here which I don't know if it's a very good book, The Dice Man. For some reason, it affected me. Frederick Exley. What the hell was the name of it? The Fans Notes, which just really, for whatever reason, knocked me out when I read it. And then, stuff that's some of it's serious, some of it's not as serious. And I just think that for whatever reason, they just moved me and got me stimulated to want to write. I mean, it's part of it. You read something, you go like, "Ooh, I just I want to do something good. I want to, and as you know, I don't know if you know, but from my point of view, sometimes you hope that they're all going to turn out well, but sometimes they don't, not as well as you'd hope anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what,
cool. No,
um,
I not that I've
la-
seen a lot, but I
yeah, go
like
ahead. I'm sorry.
not that I've
La-
seen a lot, but I'm always interested in the spaces where other authors write.
uh-huh.
And so forth.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, this is a bit of a nut house because if you go around this way, I don't know how many there are right now. I think there's 24, 25 projects that are live right now with me.
wow.
Books, a couple of screenplay. I know it's nuts. Podcasts. We do podcasts with Audible. So I don't know. It is what it is. But I tell you, it is interesting when journalists come in here, and people always have this thing in their head about how you do what you do, which has to do somehow with how they do what they do. And I guarantee you, whatever you're thinking, it just is not accurate in terms of me. Because what drives me is I just want the book to be as good as I can make it. That's it. I don't care whether it's number one or number 50. Oh, I do care a little bit, but that's not the drive. It's not making money. The money, whatever. It's just I want it to be good. The new Viola thing, the book, I think is going to be really terrific. And she's cool to work with because she's intense and she wants everything to be intense. And if it isn't intense, she's kind of like, oh, what could we do? Which is kind of fun and people get this thing about collaborators and stuff. And as you know, in the movie business or TV business, a lot of collaboration. That's kind of how it usually works, not always, but frequently anyway. And when I was in advertising, there's collaboration. You'll be with an art director and a producer, and you kind of write the stuff together. So you get used to it, and it's okay. Well, it's not the only way, but there's nothing wrong with it. I have one other quote that I wanted to read, and I love this one. This is another, just a beauty. This is from James Lee Burke, who's one of my favorites.
Me too.
And he said about the Black Echo, he said, the Black Echo is one of the most authentic pieces of crime writing I've ever read. When Connelly takes you into a tunnel, either in Los Angeles or Vietnam, you feel like you're entering a domain of moral darkness that only Conrad could adequately describe. I love that. That's so cool. That's such a wonderful compliment. And he's thinking about it. It's not just one of those, let me give this kid a quote thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was a very generous man, and That was
And
a
he's still going, man. He's still going.
writing really fabulous books. But yeah, that was a helpful thing to kick off my career with, amazing helpfully. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm indebted for that. You did something for me too in early days. You were this was when you were already flying high with Along Came the Spider and whatever came after that. But you were on a book tour and I was like 2 weeks behind you, hitting a lot of the same stores, and you
Uh-huh.
left me notes that were encouraging, because like I wasn't getting the kind of crowd you were getting. And I'd be happy if I got 5 or 6 people, because I was new at it, and there's no internet, there's not a big way of getting a name out there. So it was encouraging that I'd stop into like the mystery bookstore in New York, and you had left a
Uh-huh.
note for me that basically just said, keep going, you know.
Oh God, because I loved your stuff. I just loved it. I just knew, and as I said, it just strikes me as just so dumb when people can read stuff, because there isn't that much. It's not that there's a lot of good writing out there. There's not a lot of good storytelling slash writing. There isn't enough of that, not nearly enough. And you had it. You had the whole package. And the storytelling thing for me is that's what somebody has it. You just let them go. It's really a weird thing now. I did Holmes, Marple, and Poe, which you have to call Margaret now. But and it's a friend of mine, and he's in his early 70s. Had written no fiction, no fiction. We did a kids thing, Kids Do, half an hour TV show on NPR, wherever the hell it was on. And but he never written any fiction. And the guy's great. He just has it. It's like bizarre. You just go like, oh my God, this is the, and it's just I don't know why it is. It's just bizarre. But there aren't that many people that have it, in my opinion, anyway.
Well, I appreciate your interest and support of me over the years.
Well, thank you for supporting me by coming on and shooting the breeze. This is cool, and I'll be rooting for the Gators tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As a good Florida boy, and yeah, I like, and they're fun. It's a fun team to watch this year too.
Well, cool. Thank you. Thanks for having
All
me
right,
on.
very good. Thank you.